Welcome back to California Live. The Paralympic Games are a year out, and Dana Mathewson is on Team USA, and she's competing in wheelchair tennis.
Hi, Dana. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you. So you are competing for Team USA in wheelchair tennis. How's it going for you right now?
Things are good. I'm starting to get back to training now after that long hiatus, I guess you could call it, with COVID happening. We weren't allowed to go out on any tennis courts, weren't allowed to really do anything except practice at home. And like tournaments have been suspended and everything. So now that I'm able to get back to training, it's been really fun. I can like fill my days with stuff now. But yeah, it's definitely been a different year for sure.
Yeah, I bet. So can you tell us your story and how you got into wheelchair tennis?
Yeah, well, let's see, I became disabled when I was 10 years old. I got a really rare autoimmune disease called Transversemyelitis, and basically that's a fancy way of saying that my immune system attacked my spine, and there's really no rhyme or reason to it. It's such a rare disease. I think only like a very small percentage get it. It's like 5 in a million or 1 in a million, some crazy lottery type of statistic get it. So there's not enough research to know why it happens, but it happened to me when I was 10. I was running sprints at soccer practice and my back started to hurt incredibly badly. And fast forward to a couple hours later, and I remember looking down at my foot trying to move it and just nothing was happening. I was in the hospital for quite some time, went through rehab and physical therapy and all of that. And I remember my mom was very adamant that my life was not going to change in terms of my kind of like activities or just like my lifestyle, because I was always active before. And my mom was like, do you know what, just because you're in a wheelchair doesn't mean that you're going to sit on the couch for the rest of your life. And at the time I was a little bit resentful. It was kind of like, you don't know what this is going to be like. You don't really know what I'm experiencing. How can you say that I'm going to go out and play adaptive sports, whatever those are? And she signed me up for all these different sports. There was wheelchair basketball, wheelchair rugby, which I started initially, and then eventually wheelchair tennis. And I went to a camp in Coronado and I fell in love with it. And that was when I was around 13 or 14 years old. And I've been playing tennis ever since.
So what's the training like? Is it intense?
The training is intense. I always like to say that the way that we train is no different from the able-bodied athletes that you know. If you're a fan of watching Serena or Roger Federer, obviously I'm doing leg day a little bit less. But in terms of the amount of hours that we put on court, the amount of hours we put in the gym, the amount of the nutrition that we have to focus on, mental skills, all of that's the exact same.
What is it that, comes from within that makes you want to compete? As you just said, you do love to compete.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I'm a very stubborn person, and I think that's helped me in a lot of different aspects of life. You could say that following my injury, being stubborn kind of allowed me to push to kind of keep going. When doctors were saying that you're going to have trouble doing X, Y, or Z, I was like, I'm going to prove you wrong. With tennis specifically, I think I like that it's an individual sport because it makes you focus on yourself, obviously, but it teaches you self-reliance. And so for me, coming out of an injury at a young age, tennis was something that really brought my independence back to me. So yeah, tennis has taught me a lot of life lessons to be able to work hard on my own, to be able to achieve my own goals, set goals. And yeah, I think it's really rewarding. It takes a lot of work, but the reward you get back is great.
All right, Dana, go Team USA and wheelchair tennis. We're all rooting for you.
Thank you.